Hey y'all, what's up? This is Jason coming to you from the top of a dirty dryer. So yes, this is let's go ahead and clear the air. This is my dryer and it is dirty. So there was a bunch of clothes piled up on top of it, but I was cleaning it up and I ran across this thermal fuse packet, and I remembered that I had made a video on this, but I never did complete the video and I never did post it. So I figured I'd go ahead and post it now and see if I could help you out. This is a Whirlpool dryer. This is really applied to a lot of different dryers. Okay, y'all, this is a common thing. I'm pretty sure these are used on a lot of dryers. So what happened was one day my dryer wouldn't work at all. Nothing, no heat, no spin, nothing. And so first thing I did is I checked the breaker, and breaker was fine. I unplugged the dryer, plugged it back up, that kind of thing. Nothing. Played with all the settings. I was getting nothing. So I took the back off of the dryer, just trying to visually look for any problems. And I started looking online and looking up issues. Hey, my dryer won't run. My dryer won't this. Dryer doesn't work. Of course, they start offering suggestions. So I check the breaker, make sure you got power to the circuit, and make sure you got power to the plug. And well, there's also a thing called a thermal fuse, and one of your culprits can be a thermal fuse. And one way to really narrow it down that you know that you've got a bad thermal fuse is, well, evidence that will cause a thermal fuse to go bad will be there was way too much fuzz and stuff inside my exhaust hose. So I don't know when the last time I cleaned it. Well, last time I cleaned it was probably whenever I got a dryer last time, to be honest. So there was way too much fuzz in there. Now, y'all, I'll be honest with you. If I'm running something that doesn't create much fuzz, I have been bad about in the past not cleaning it, not cleaning the filter. But if I'm running something like towels that creates a lot of fuzz, yeah, I'll definitely clean it. But since this happened, I've gotten a lot better cleaning it every load, because that was a lot of fuzz in there, and something like that could potentially be a fire hazard. So with all that fuzz in there, it's preventing this thing from getting rid of all the exhaust air, and so it overheated the dryer. And there's this thing called a thermal fuse, and what it does is, I don't know, it's maybe about that big, and I think it's just like got one screw hole where it screws to the frame back there. So what it did is I unplugged the dryer, took the back plate off the back of the dryer, several screws. I don't remember what they were, whether they were hex head or whether they were Phillips or what it was. But there was several screws back there. Take the screws off and take the back metal piece off the back of the dryer. Make sure your dryer's unplugged when you're doing this. And there are two wires that end up plugging up to this. I wish I still had the thermal fuse, but this thermal fuse is, like I say, it's about that long and maybe about that wide, but it's kind of flat too. But it's got a rounded section in the middle. A wire plugs onto one side and a wire plugs onto the other side, and it's got a screw that goes into it to hold it in place. I think it's just one screw. And there are videos online that show how to check that with a voltmeter to make sure it's still good. And but if you don't have a voltmeter, you can take it off and you can take it to your local appliance parts store, and where they sell parts, and they'll have a voltmeter there. They can check it, and they'll be glad to sell you one. I don't remember what this cost, but I remember it was definitely under $10. Okay, this was a thermal fuse, and it was an easy fix. I'm glad it fixed it. Put it back in, put it back together. Make sure it's unplugged while you're working on it. Put the thermal fuse in, plugged it back up, turned it on, worked fine. Okay, y'all keep your hose cleaned out. Check it every once in a while. I mean, probably once a year or something like that. Annual checks on things. And keep this thing cleaned out too. Okay, y'all? Thermal fuse. that might be your culprit if your dryer has just flat out stopped working at all. Won't spin, no power, no nothing. So it's a good thing to check. I hope that helps you out. Hope you have a good day.